Hi everyone. So I've been using Pixel 9 for a couple of days now, and I think Google has made some changes, small changes over its predecessor, which has made a big impact. But it's still far from perfect. So in this video, I'm going to talk about whether this makes sense for you or not. These are still my initial impressions, so they can change over the period of time, but let's talk about it. To be honest, I'm always excited for Pixel launch. In previous years, it was always about software, but this year I was more excited about the design changes. I like the new look of Pixel 9 series. I think it looks more modern and has some good part of every flagship phones. The camera bump is still good like old Pixel phones, so if you put it on a flat surface, it's not going to wobble, so it's easier to use on a flat surface. The phone is comfortable to hold with round edges. The matte frame also looks good, but I still wish it has that matte back so I could use this phone without any case. I mean, if there is any phone that I'm going to flaunt, it's going to be a Google phone. But not everything is great about the design. It is not a one-hand phone anymore. Don't get me wrong, 6.3-inch phone is still a very good phone over all those bulky phones. So I will choose this size over any other big flagship like XL or Ultra. But I do realize it feels a bit heavy and difficult to use with one hand at times. The power button and volume button placement still annoys the hell out of me. Every time I'm watching something, I press the power button instead of the volume up button. Front of the phone has also changed with symmetrical bezels and a huge dot in the middle. I mean, I'm coming from a pill on a screen, so it doesn't bother me. The overall display is really good and brighter this time. The phone still comes with 60Hz out of the box, so you need to enable that smooth display, and it is still not that LTPO screen, so it won't be as efficient as Pro models. But it's good display with HDR support, so watching content on it is a joy. The speaker sound ratio has been changed a little bit as well. So now from the upper piece, you will hear more sound, which is fine for some videos, but I feel like the sound is a little bit more hollow because I think it is lacking a little bit bass, and sometimes the sound feel a little bit muddier on higher volumes. The haptics are great as usual, and we finally have ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. It works great in my opinion. I just wish it worked like Samsung with screen off. Overall, it's fast and much more reliable. The modem seems to be working better on Pixel 9 as well. I'm getting good signal, consistent 5G speed, and more importantly, the switch between 4G and 5G, which I used to struggle with, especially while commuting. The charging is low as usual. It takes around 1 hour and 30 minutes because the battery size is bigger. It's now 4700 milliampere. But the battery life seems to be improved a little bit. I've got around 6 hours of screen on time with moderate to heavy use, so I think it's a one-day phone for a lot of people. Now let's talk about the Tensor G4. I'm sure you have watched a lot of benchmark and performance video by now, so I'm directly gonna come to the point. So I think it's basically the same processor with a dialed down performance so that it doesn't overheat. The Pro model will get the vapor chamber, so the cooling will work a little bit better there. But on Pixel 9, it doesn't overheat, but I feel like it does get warm even on regular usage, which was the case with Pixel 8 as well. Slightly better here. The thing is, when you start to push this phone, it won't overheat, but you will see some sort of frame drop while using the apps. So I still feel that Tensor G4 is not up to the mark. I think Google worked mainly on the NPU and RAM because of those AI features, but apart from that, this is not a performance-centric phone. So for day-to-day use, it's fine, but don't expect a lot out of it. The base storage in India is also 256 GB, which is a good thing, but I don't understand why it can't be UFS 4. In short, it's a good phone for day-to-day use, but it's more focused on those AI features. I mean, there's that Add Me feature where a person can click a photo and switch places. I don't know how much I'm going to use it because I feel like it's slow. I think it can work in certain situations where you're only two people in a very remote location and you need to take picture with each other. The Gemini Live is also something I'm not ready to try yet because the thing is, after the trial period, the cost of using that is a little bit higher. So I'm not sure how many people are going to use that as well. It seems cool. I don't think it's there yet. Maybe it's just me who's not there on the AI wagon yet, like everyone else on Twitter or maybe YouTube. So yeah, I think the AI is supposed to make your life easier. It should blend in. You don't need to go out of your way to use AI in your phone or even on laptops. So that's my point of view. So I'm not going to talk about those artificial intelligence features a lot. And I'm going to stick with my Google Assistant for now because I think it's more useful than the Gemini right now. And last but not the least, the cameras. I did not invest so much time here because on paper it is more or less the same camera. I say more or less the same because the hardware is same, but the processing is slightly different. So even though the photos have that pixel contrast, it seems to be dialed down a little bit. The details are something where I think the pixel still lags, and the portrait is getting horrible because Google is still using the same software tricks and hasn't changed the algorithm in years. But I will talk about the camera in my full review. I don't like taking these random shots because they don't tell you like how much you actually want to use the camera. So after some point where I'm actually going to use this phone and realize like I actually like or not like the camera, I'll get back to you. As this is not a conclusion, but I would like to say the design is better, network has been improved, battery life is decent, but the slow charging is still there. Performance is also decent, but you will see the phone is getting a little bit warm and throttling, so you might not be able to play games on it. So, like I said, it's not a perfect phone. It might be good for some people, especially like Pixel fans, but for other people, it's a decent option at best. Let me know if there are any doubts, if there is anything you want to ask about this phone or you want me to cover in a full review. My name is Rohit. I'll see you in the next one. Till then.